Hello and welcome to Jet's training update. So the first thing I wanted to do with him getting here at the beginning of the week is making sure that he's cool with us putting his e-collar on and taking it off. He loves food and he loves training, so he's been super motivated to work with us. He loves doing it. He doesn't really want us to touch him. He doesn't really want us to lean over him. He doesn't really want us to pet him or get in his space or anything like that, which is totally okay. It just means that we've had to be very mindful and cautious and just being very aware of what we're doing when we're working with him. So I just wanted to make some positive associations with the e-collar and us leaning around him, touching him, because those are all pretty confrontational. Like putting an e-collar on, we have to bend over him, put our arms around his neck, stuff that he hasn't been super comfortable with. So that's part of the reason I'm sitting in the chair as well, so I'm not as tall. I don't have to lean over him as much. The longer it went on, he understood more and more. He got more and more comfortable with it. And then this was actually the first time he wanted attention. This is the first time he's ever sought out attention from me. He wanted some pets and was cuddling up on me. It was great. Super happy to see that. So yeah, he was a lot more comfortable coming in this week than he was last week. With dogs that are a little bit more reserved, it's super important that we're able to build trust with them. So if he came in and he was uncomfortable with being touched and being leaned over and we just did it anyway, that would have been damaging for our relationship with him. So we've just been taking our time, having fun with training, letting him get comfortable with us. And now that we have a relationship and he's starting to trust us, now he's starting to seek out more attention. So when all of that was going really well and he was just wanting attention from me, I just started foregoing training and just started working on relationship with him, just having some bonding time, letting him enjoy those pets. Alright, so here is a session of us working on sits. If I sound a little monotone, a little sad, a little quiet in these video clips, it's just because this is when I was coming down with my cold. In his last video, we went over leash pressure and how we teach that sit using some negative reinforcement, teaching him how to turn off that leash pressure. In this session, my primary focus is going to be the implied stay. And going into this session, there are a couple things I'm keeping in mind. One, somebody did start introducing him to a down, so sometimes he's trying to go into that down when we're working on sits, which is why I am doing a lot of paying the sit right there, just doing sit, mark, feed, sit, mark, feed, because if I wait too long or if he has to guess at all, he's going to try and go into that down. So I'm naming it sit and then making sure I mark and reward fast before he has the opportunity to try a different behavior. The other thing I'm keeping in mind is that when I first tried working on a little bit of distance with him in week 1, he would do really good, he would stay in position, and then when I would come back into heel position to reward him, he would shift over to the side. And I didn't want that, so instead of pushing it and working on the duration, I just went back to just doing a lot more pay in that position, getting him more familiar with the idea of staying still by introducing the sits and healing and building duration in that first. And now I am able to revisit the distance, and he is no longer shifting. When it comes to our implied stays, our footwork is going to be pretty important. So if you notice, every time I want him to stay there, I'm telling him what I want him to do, and then I'm stepping off with my right foot. If we think about healing and free, which is our release, we're always taking that step forward with our left foot. So heal, we're moving forward with our left foot. Our dogs naturally primarily communicate through body language, where people, we use more verbal. But the physical body cues are going to be the things that the dogs are going to pick up on first. So to help set them up for success when we're doing our sits, our downs, our place, anything that has an implied stay, we're going to remind them, and then we are going to leave with our opposite foot, which would be our right foot. And all I was doing is just gradually increasing that distance. So sit, small step with my right foot, right back, and just practicing slowly moving around the front of him and then moving a little bit further back and just pushing the distance a little bit. When it comes to working on any of our commands, we want to think about our 3Ds. D1 is distance, D2 is duration, and D3 is distraction. So he can sit, but can he sit if I'm at the end of the leash? Can he sit for 1 minute? Can he sit if there is a dog in the same room? These are all different things we think about, especially when we're teaching new behaviors, making sure that we're working at a level that is appropriate and fair to set the dog up for success. So while he's practicing this right now, I wouldn't go take him to a busy downtown and expect him to do a sit-stay. If he comes up out of the sit, I'm just calmly telling him no, giving him a quick pop up on that leash and reminding him that he should have been sitting. So it would be no, pop, sit. Place has been going really well. I just started the session off a little easy, reminding him of some distance. Place. And just like I was saying with the sit stays, see, I tell him place, and then I'm stepping with that right foot. And then I'm going to come back into heel, mark, and feed. And those corrections are the exact same as we've been doing with the sits. So as soon as he takes 1 foot off the bed, I'm going to tell him no. I'm going to give him a small pop on that slip lead towards the bed, and then remind him place so we can tell him what he did wrong. Place. If we were first introducing distractions, I would have been much lighter. I would have picked up 1 marker, dropped it, and then gone back and rewarded. But he's been practicing a good bit of place. He's pretty good at it. He's seen quite a few distractions. So challenged him a little bit. No. Place. So there, I threw him a little distraction. He made a mistake. I had to correct him. And then I threw him that same distraction again. And he showed me that he learned from the last correction. So then I was able to go and reward his behavior. I'm really big on that. If the dogs make a mistake, I want to set it up again. I want to do it again. I want them to, if they fail at something, I want them to be able to rehearse being successful at it right after. And sometimes the dogs make a mistake because it was too much for them, it was too hard. So, sometimes I might bring the difficulty down a little bit, but I want to generally recreate that same picture so that they can get rewarded for being successful.
No. Place.
Play stuff can be a little boring, but I think I laid here for like 5 minutes.
Free.
So this is how we get him in and out of the buildings or walk him around outside. I just make some little sounds, encourage him to come over, get him to walk on my side. And then he comes to that sit because he has, that long roared history of seeing when we're healing and I come to a stop, you sit with me. And he also knows that we stop and sit at every door before we go in or out.
Free.
Sometimes he wants to sit a little bit too far back. I just encourage him with my voice or use the food in my hand if I have to.
Free. Free.
And I also practiced a lot of distance with place, so I put him on the long line.
Place.
I have also spent a lot of time working on recalls this week. He's been doing super well. You can see he loves his recall. All I'm doing is waiting for him to look away. If at any moment he's looking away from me, I'm going to call his name and then run back fast. As soon as he turns his head, mark, and have him come get some food down at my side. We started this on the 6-foot leash. I always start with the 6-foot leash, and then I moved him to the long line. But he's been doing really well with this. He's been coming back really fast. And eventually we're going to have him come back into that heel position ideally. So that's why we're having him take that food running past on my left side so that later on we can move him into heel position. We want these recalls to be as explosive and as repetitive as possible. So I'm not letting him get like super distracted, go super far away from me. I want these to be very, very successful. I want him to have a lot of repetition of waiting for me to call him back. And then as soon as I call him back, he's whipping his head back because he was waiting for it and I was excited to come get that food. I want it to be super rewarding, super fun. The more practice he has of quickly snapping his head like that, the more reflexive his recall is going to become. And he's going to be able to do it without even thinking about it. Started working on his healing outdoors. Whenever we increase the difficulty a little bit, we tend to make our criteria a little bit easier. So I'm not really working on the stop and sit, just working on the walking on my side. You'll see he gets a little nervous, he gets a little weird about certain spots on the ground. Not exactly sure why, but it happens sometimes. There were just certain places he didn't want to walk. So if he starts like backing away or going too far to the side, I'm just going to reset, maybe back up a little bit, use my food, help him through it, feed him a little bit more. I want him to be comfortable healing all around the yard. I want him to feel, like he can walk anywhere in the grass because there's no reason to be concerned about it. So I just want to show him that if he's feeling weird about something, he can do it. And I don't want him to learn to avoid things, especially things that make him feel a little bit weird. I want to help him get stronger, help him work through it.
Sit. 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 No. Sit. Sit. No. Sit. Good. Sit. No. Sit. 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 Free. Yeah, buddy. Good job.
And then at the very end of the week, I decided it was time to start introducing him to some e-collar. His recalls have been going fantastic on the 6-foot leash and on the long line, so now I'm ready to start introducing the E. So I have it on a low level, it's on a 3, that's something he should barely be able to feel.
Jet.
So when he's just walking around, minding his business, I'm going to start that stim, hold it for just a second, recall him, and as soon as his head turns back, I'm turning off the stim, marking, and rewarding.
Free.
So all he's learning right now is that stim means come back and get your reward.
Free.
And it's going to take quite a few sessions for him to put 2 and 2 together to really figure it out. But eventually, when we start using that e-collar before we even call him back, he's going to start to turn on just the e-collar alone. So that's what we're looking for here. We want to start the e-collar with a lot of positive associations, teaching him how to turn it off so he feels it. He's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what to do. But it's not a high level, so it's not bad. But he just feels it, and he's a little confused. And then I call him back. As soon as he comes back, it turns off, and he's getting his reward. So he's seeing that he is in control of this.